Okay, hello everybody. Another one from the road. Uh, First off, happy Father's Day for those whose country it is Father's Day. Um, there's Moto. Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. And as you can tell, it's an unconventional show. It's another road show. So here we are. I've got the card tray going, but the iPad's at a weird angle. And I decided to do the iPad because I forgot my plug for the mic, and I um, wasn't bringing the laptop here because we were at storage doing our last run of storage. Let's see the chat. Let me pull up YouTube Studio, see if you guys can even hear me. Nope, not. Well, I guess that would work. YouTube regular. So you get an echo for a second while I try and play myself. You. All right. Okay. Oh, I won't hear it because of Bluetooth. Let me turn off Bluetooth for a second. And hit play again. Okay, yep, so I hear audio. All right, let's end this because that's not helpful. Wow, child, you ripe. Okay. And as I've learned, you can't really share tabs on the iPad, so if there's anything that needs sharing, I'll do this with the phone, but I don't think I need to do that based on what I remember saving. But let's pull up the topics and get on to it. So 16th of June, we've got a tweet from Electric. Let's pull this over here. Whoa, you're the right, child. All right, how do I? They've got this little menu now, and it's all symbols, and the symbols don't make sense. Whew. I'll open a window or two. All right, so this one is about the evolution of the Owl hypercars, and it becomes the fastest EV at 438.7 kilometers per hour. Pretty darn fast. But the main reason I wanted to bring that up was what did I write down in the notes? I didn't write down anything in the notes, but we already knew the EVs weren't slow. But it's always fun to see. And then here's a picture of it. Jank, I know, but working with what we got here. All right, so then next we've got. Aside from the rape child. Ooh. At about 1.9 seconds, it won. What does that mean? Won some contest at 1.9 seconds. It's pretty darn cool. Let me click the link and see what it says. Oh, okay. So he's trying to beat Tesla's next gen Roadster from 0 to 60, which is done because Tesla's next gen Roadster, as far as we know, only has one prototype running around. Goodness gracious, what did you eat? I'm sorry, guys. It's just be glad you don't have smell-o-vision. This is a new level for her. You ate the sun? Yes, you did. All right, then we've got something from Motor Trend. Let's see what Motor Trend sent us. The same thing. The fastest EV, Owl Spark Hypercar. Why would I do that? Apparently, on 2 different days, the news came up, and I saved it twice. I'm sorry. Next up, we've got Tesla Robotaxi Explainer. So let's see what that's all about. This is on Electric. They've got this fan mock-up. That doesn't look so bad. And so this one I had wanted to sit down with you guys and kind of back and forth about what you guys think about the Robotaxi. But what I would say there is let's put it all out in the comments, and I'll comment back and forth with you guys about the Robotaxi. Just because I did not expect to be here in this physical location to do this show. I'll talk about that at the end of the topics, which there aren't many today. All right, but basically they're reminding us that on August 8th, Elon promised us the robotaxi unveiling, and we'll talk back and forth about that. Oh, okay. She's wearing her pants. She was gesturing like she wasn't wearing pants. All right, so next topic. Apparently I had more, because as I was clicking through, some more jumped in there. Let's go to this one. All right, so this one is about Porsche teaming up with ChargePoint. I thought that was kind of cool. We've got Mercedes doing basically the same thing, but having some branded. I'm sorry. I know it's raining, but she wants to be with you. Anyway, so Mercedes basically did this, and now we've got Porsche doing it as well. Tesla already did it. That's quite loud. I know there's a fly over there. Anyway, so Porsche did this already, or Porsche is doing this now. Mercedes already did it. Everybody's kind of aping Tesla with their own charging network or charging partnerships, which is fine. All that really matters there is more reliable, more available chargers. Let's see if Electric lined anything else out about this. And I wasn't just in Electric this week, but that's just a lot of what made it into the feed. All right, so they signed on an agreement. Let's see, how do I? Okay, there we go. Signed an agreement with ChargePoint that gives us access to the ChargePoint network with Porsche's charging service. And they didn't even do an Electric note on this one, like where they have their little commentary on it. So basically what I said. Next up. All right, so this one, I put the note on it. I put, but what about when the wind isn't blowing? And I did a laughing face rolling on the floor emoji. And the reason I put that is because the article was, this one coming from Dry Tesla Canada. It said, Tesla Megapack selected to power the world's largest offshore wind farm in Orsted. That's how you write it. I don't know how you say it. That's as close as I'm going to get. So basically, that was my point of including it, is for all those people saying, oh, yeah, you can't use renewables because they don't always. What about when the wind doesn't blow? What about when the sun goes down? Yeah, put it in some kind of storage medium, a battery, a mechanical storage device like pumped hydro, or these lifting concrete blocks. There was an article somewhere, it might even be the next topic. There was an article somewhere about using these mega skyscrapers instead of like maybe just giving them a dead weight core to counter the wind and earthquakes and stuff, but perhaps use that same core, or I guess a series of them, as weights that you can drop, and as you drop them, you have them spin a generator. All right, so the next we've got something from me. What did I do? Oh, excuse me, this one was fun. So Teslarati's got an X tweet about Texas Governor Greg Abbott welcomes Tesla after reincorporation vote passes, guaranteed to win mark. Oh, excuse me. Oh, we didn't cover the shareholder meeting on the Tesla Life yet. We'll do that this week, and because of the circumstances I'm in, I'm not going to do it today. Not even an attempt. But I will say that Musk's pay package went through. He did some dances and crummy jokes, and he reminded us that it doesn't take effect or it does take effect, but he can't do anything with it for 5 years. That's when he can actually, because these are options. And then the vote for moving the company to Texas passed as well. And so that's where this article is coming from. And my response to that, because Greg Abbott always loves to tie himself to anything he thinks is popular, and especially if he didn't have anything to do with it, or even if he did. But kind of like the politicians that vote against everything and then come back home and talk about, oh yeah, look what I did for you. And then if you look at their voting record, it's like, you voted that I couldn't get this thing. Anyway, so my response to the tweet was, but can they sell and service cars yet? Prove it, Abbott. It's plain and simple. And that's referring to how in Texas, Michigan, South Carolina, several other places, Tesla is not allowed to sell and service their cars. Because small business, right? Or free enterprise, right? Capitalism wins, yeah? All this political hypocrisy, all the good old boys network. Because they're not using a franchise dealership, these places have locked them out. We've talked about it extensively on What Drives Us and the Tesla Live show and on here. And I just wanted to put that tweet in there, so I did. And then we've got another electric cow. Let's see what they did today. So this is Mercedes-Benz. We were just talking about Porsche and the Mercedes, right? Mercedes-Benz is deploying 400 kilowatt US-made EV fast chargers with CCS and NACS cables. And then the image is HYC 400, Mercedes-Benz, and Alpitronic. There. So let's click into it and see what Electrek found out. I don't know if chat is working. It says all except Facebook profile. So if chat, oh yeah, there it is. It's at the bottom of the screen for some reason. I was gonna say if chat is working, then Facebook probably screwed it up. But no, Facebook didn't mess anything up today. All right, so we've got CCS and NACS cables, which is great. Let me put this over here since the camera's in a weird place. So I'm looking forward to the new iPad just to have the camera where it belongs, in the middle of the screen on the landscape side instead of on the portrait side, which is just ridiculous. Okay, so in addition to their own chargers, Mercedes is doing this. So the interesting part there is the 400 kilowatts. I don't know that there's anything that can take that yet. It's not entirely true. I don't know if there's any passenger vehicles that Mercedes will be making that can take that yet, because we've got the Tesla the Tesla Semi, which can do mega charging, and we've got some boats that can do megawatt, but I don't know that we have any cars that aren't like experiments that can do megawatt charging. So we're looking at a $1 billion investment in North American charging infrastructure. They've made a household name in their segment, of course, because people buy it for the brand alone, even if it's not a good model. And of course, obviously, if it's a great model, they've got a mix. Everybody's got some good ones and some bad ones, and they got some of both. All right, so they're going to put it in their Iona joint venture network. So basically, everybody can use it, which is another reason for putting dual plugs on it, aside from the fact that they switched over to NACS. Mercedes EV chargers. So Mercedes says to unlock this next era of charging, we must bridge the gap in quality that starts with the customer's experience at the charger. As we continue to scale Mercedes-Benz high-power charging, we are investing in both this critical infrastructure, and the workforce behind its success. We're proud to partner with Alpitronic, who has not only designed a best-in-class product with some of the fastest charging speeds available, but is a company equally committed to investing in America's clean energy workforce. All right, so it comes with 400 kilowatt charging, support for a wide output voltage range. It can also simultaneously charge 2 EVs at once at up to 200 kilowatts. So that's a little more useful with today's cars, because a lot of them can do 80 to 150 kilowatts. More can do 200, and fewer can do 250. and less can do 300 to 350. Hey, Anders. Good evening from Stockholm, Sweden. Good to see you. Yes. And I don't know if your country is doing Father's Day or not right now, but if you are Father, happy Father's Day. And the reason I say that is like my wife's country, they do all these Mother's Day, Father's Day, everything on different days than much of the world. But I guess that's kind of to be expected since they're like 450 years into the future on the calendar. The date in Thailand right now is like 25. I don't know what the last two digits of the year are, but it's quite interesting. What's it based on? Religion, like with the monks, or is it like the moon or something? Your calendar. Your calendar. Why is it the year that it is? What's it based on? Yeah. I don't know if she understood the question. Hit her with something weird out of the blue. All right, so that was the last article for today. So now let's talk about why I'm still here moving stuff at 1:30 on a Sunday. So using this vehicle to tow that vehicle, I don't know if you can see it. Can I switch cameras on this thing? I don't know if I can switch cameras on this thing either. I didn't flip the camera back there. Anyway, using this vehicle to tow the cargo trailer that we have empty, I can do 60 miles an hour as long as I'm not climbing a mountain like I was to get here. And let's see, our average for this part of the trip was 774 watt hours a mile. So that's almost a kilowatt hour. But doing 55 up a mountain, we're looking at 900 and change watt hours per mile. And if I bump that up to 60 or 65, then it was over a kilowatt hour per mile. And with the degradation of the pack, this vehicle only has an 88 kilowatt. The vehicle only has an 88 kilowatt hour pack, of which 5 kilowatt hours are reserved for if I get to zero. So that leaves not a lot of range in between stops. And when you're in a charging desert, like in between the center of South Carolina and the center of North Carolina, you want more than 70 and change miles of range. So you got to slow it down. And so it turns a 4-hour trip into an 8-hour trip because you got to supercharge up to 80 to 90% at every stop. And then you can only do 55 to 60 miles per hour while you're in between. And this isn't complaining. Yes, baby, what? What? Yes, I'm daddy. You want to come here? Well, then come over here. You can do it. Yeah. Say hi, everybody. Cobra told you, wow, double the amount of time. By the way, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you as well. And yeah, so in this car, in the Model X of 6 years of P100Dness, it is double the time, at least in the charging desert. It was longer with coming back with it from Florida, but it wasn't like this because coming back from Florida, there was plenty of charging, so we could do 65, 60 miles an hour easily. But we did have to do more charging, and we did have to charge deeper into the pack. But this one felt particularly bad. But that's not complaining to say that, you know, I definitely would keep up with our plan for HV Nomads. I'm definitely gonna still get this thing converted over to an EV RV, all electric, no gas, no liquid fuel backups, any of that stuff. But no, we're not beep beeping. We're on the phone. But what I would suggest for anybody getting into this is probably go with one of the newer Model X's that actually still has something nearer to 100 kilowatt hours in the pack. The new ones don't actually have that, so that makes it fun. But they also have different motors and gearing, so they might fare better than that. But what I really want to do at this point is go ahead and pick up a Cybertruck. We're not in a point where we can do that right now, but one of the things that came up at the meeting was Elon said that the non-foundation series will probably be out next quarter. Hopefully we'll be lined up to do that. What are you doing, baby? Why are you trying to turn off the air? It's hot and raining. You need the air conditioner to both keep it cool and take out the humidity. Yeah. I've got the HVAC on the right scroll wheel. So with the Cybertruck, as I said previously on the Tesla Live show, that we would have a similar range as far as the range we could go as far as between supercharges with this vehicle, but we'd be able to tow heavier, and it would still be more in the favor of the Cybertruck in a few ways. First off, his charging speed will be faster because this one is capped at 150-ish. 5. She had her dental surgery and she's happy now.
Hi, Daddy.
Yes.
Hi, buddy.
Who's buddy? Hi, buddy. So this one's capped at a 150-ish. I say 150-ish, but sometimes I've seen it go as far as whoa, bring it back. I've seen it go as far as 170, but it doesn't hold that very long. It's that the Model 3 doesn't hold 250 for very long, and the Cybertruck doesn't really know what to do with 350 just yet. Not to say it can't do it, but it starts doing this weird thing, at least on the videos that Kyle and crew have showed us. When it gets to 350, it cuts it down, waits a second, and then goes back up. Oh, don't swipe them now. So then, in addition, no, don't end it. Keep streaming. So in addition to having a better charging speed, it has additional 23 kilowatt hours at new in the battery pack. So that'd be good for a couple miles. 17, in fact, at 65 miles an hour. And I say that based on the numbers I've seen other people show while towing. But their towing is, they don't slow down. Their towing is like at 70, 75 miles an hour. So if I'm doing a kilowatt hour per mile at that's still 123 miles. Towing heavy, towing fast, and then recharging quickly. I'd probably still break it down to about 60, 65 miles an hour, because why not just go further, right? But that's going to depend on where we are in the supercharger network. Like those of you familiar with the Southeast, you know that I-26 has next to zero chargers. Not zero, but next to zero. And there's other places throughout the country that are like that. And I'm talking about the entire length of I-26. If you go to supercharge.info and take a look, I did the count like before she was around. I'm glad that nobody knows what you're singing, because that could get me a copyright strike. Like I said, either just after she was born or sometime before she was born, I did the entire search for the length of I-26. The length of I-26, and there were zero superchargers directly on it. There were like 2 or 3 that were near it, but that's not quite the same thing. And there were other roads in the country that were set up like that. And even now, there are places that were serviced that are not dense, and so it makes it fun if you have a Model 3 standard range that was being Ubered at 100% charge back and forth, and is now exhibiting degradation. A Model X60, Model S40 couldn't supercharge, so it doesn't matter, at least unless you upgraded it to the Model S60 with the software unlock. And the Model X towing it. Bye. Bye? You leaving? Okay, bye-bye. No. You said bye. Oh, you're going to sit?
Bye.
Bye.
No.
No.
I'm not talking.
You're not talking? I noticed.
I'm not talking. A car.
No car? We're in the car.
Big car.
baby car is at the house.
Baby car how?
Yes.
Baby car.
Are you talking about your trailer? You see your trailer in the camera? Yes. Those are my tissues. I don't need a tissue right now. Do you need a tissue right now? Okay. Bless you. Bless you. So where was I with that? The other thing that I want to do with cyber... No, don't waste all of my tissues. The other thing that I want to do with Cybertruck is get the extended range battery pack. Hello, 01010. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. The other thing I want to do with Cybertruck is get the extended range battery pack because what did they say? Another, I forget what they said it was in size, but we were talking about another 50 to 75 kilowatt hours, right? That will make a huge difference. That'll make a huge difference, and if we're gonna be towing, we won't really need as much in the bed. I would prefer it to be, still have a usable bed as far as like all of it, but so far the only one that has done that has been the Silverado clones, and I say that because you got the Silverado, the Denali, and the work truck, but the Hummer that actually has the same battery pack doesn't really have that kind of range. It's not a key, that's a quarter, which you just threw on the floor in between the seat. Can you not? Please put it back. There you go. Thank you. The penny too, please. They don't need a penny. Okay, but you're making noise in their ears. Some people are wearing headphones. That's got to hurt their ears. Oh, the ants. Yeah, you got an ant on you. There you go. You got it. So the extended range battery pack, I think, would make all of it better as far as planning and being able to do the higher speeds. I'm not talking anything ridiculous, but being able to do the speed limit would be nice. So I got a little taste of what it's like towing in California today and yesterday and the day before. Again, because it's an 8-hour trip each direction instead of 4. Some of the folks don't take kindly to you doing 55 in the slow lanes. Either angrily passing you with like snarling engine noises that are just going hellaciously slow, but either making a lot of smoke or sound. And then you've got the folks that want to come kind of nose check you as they go by. I don't know if they have poor depth perception or if they are trying to cause a wreck. Although it's quite a dumb move with me having dash cams everywhere. I've got the 8 on the car, and then I've got the 2 that I added before the car had a dash cam. And in fact, that saved us in a collision that we had with a commercial truck because he tried to tell the policeman. He said, "Policeman or trooper?" Either way, he told the constable that Cobra says they're just angry drivers out there. There is that as well. Oh, don't eat the coin. Don't eat the coin. Try to eat a nickel. He told the lawman that we merged together, when in fact he rammed me 4 times before I hit the lightning pedal and got out of there.
Me, you, me.
I will tell you more and share the video with that once all of the legal proceedings are finished. This happened 6 years ago in the Model S, so tells you how when they say justice is slow, it tells you how slow it can be. And yeah, so I think it'd be nice to be able to go the speed limit if I choose to, and not be forced to not be able to do it at all. Plus, I think that when you're... Look what Mommy's got for you. Yeah. I think that when you are... When you're using the Cybertruck, you guys have all pointed out, like Cobra and others have pointed out that that the vehicle gets a lot of looks. and so I think that would help further the mission of the HV nomads to get all them eyes. But I like to eat, and so we need to make sure that we uh, have the numbers correct before we even attempt to go for doing the Cybertruck. And I'd kind of like to keep this one because it's got the free charging for life, it's got the premium connectivity for life, and it's in a color they don't make anymore. So even if I don't drive it every day, I'd like to have it in the stable. It's fun to drive. It holds everybody. It's great on road trips by itself, but as we discussed, it doesn't do that well while towing for expediency. But with the RV situation, that won't be a problem because I was discussing with my wife sometime on this trip. I don't know what day it was.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, baby.
Thank you.
Hold this? Okay. You got it. Yeah.
I'm tired. Mom, Yo. Yeah, baby.
Watch your step. You put the in your way to slip. She put a coaster in her way to slip on. Here you go. We discussed someday on this trip about how far we would want to possibly go with road trips on travel days. We figured that maybe 200, 300 miles. Basically, we at the third supercharge, we would just call it a day. We're done there. And I don't see us going that far, that fast at all, because the whole point of the trip is to show the little one the whole country. And if we're just zooming through the country, then what did she see but every highway, right? So we'll go ahead and make sure that she gets something to see. Yeah, exactly. Cobra couldn't get rid of the X because of the free supercharging. Now, Elon did tell them at the shareholder meeting he was going to do one more time with the transfer. I don't know if it was transfer to. I think it was transfer to the full self-driving. But if they can line up and stack up to do a transfer of supercharging and self-driving, that'd be sweet. But I'm not counting on any of this, and I think I just finished finally listening to the Isaacson biography, and what we're going to need is somebody who's got his ear and can present a good case for. He's talking about how hard it is to transfer full self-driving. If it is that hard, then they've done something wrong. And since his concern with it is the cash and the time spent, I would be fine paying a transfer fee forever. That would keep me in a Tesla. If I could keep full self-driving for $1,000 a car, I would keep trading the bad boys in time after time after time, instead of just like the guy who was at the counter saying like, I want the car, but I don't want to give you $12,000 for full self-driving. And I think it's down to 12 now, right? Because it was at 15. They keep changing it. But all we need is somebody who can explain to him in a way that he understands. Because dude will take input, but dude is also super stubborn and kind of a dick. So we heard how last time before this somebody asked him about transfers. He's just straight up like an angry dad, and this time he was listening, and it just makes sense to allow transfers of the FSD or anything really with a small fee. That way, even if you never fix your system to make it make sense to do this, which still doesn't make sense, because if you can do subscriptions and they can turn it on and off every other month, then not only that, but since you turn it off on every car that comes in for trade-ins, so you can resell the stuff. I don't think that he's telling us the whole story there. I'm not calling him a liar. I am saying he says stuff a lot, but I'm not saying that this is the case of him just saying stuff. I don't doubt that there is something hard about it. I just don't see why it should still be hard. And if it is hard and waste time and blah, 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 either break even or make a profit on it. Charge us anywhere from $100 to $1,000 to transfer it to the next car. Call it a day. Yeah, so that's where I was on towing with this thing and free supercharging for life. What it's done to, because if I use this on a trade, it would knock out a lot of the sting out of a payment on a truck like that. I'm obviously not in a position to just plunk down all the cash on it. I guess I could lease it, but there's two problems with the Tesla lease. There is that you can't own the Tesla after the lease is done. There's no provision for that anymore. There used to be on the S and the X, and there never was on the 3 and the Y, and then they removed it on the S and the X. And so if you go over the miles, you're stuck with that. That was one way to get out of the high miles on everybody else's leases, unless it was one of the weird cars like the Fit EV or the GM EV1, or some of the Toyota RAV4 EV classics and the new one, where they had to go back to the store. But for some reason, Tesla doesn't want that, and so leasing the truck wouldn't be an option. In addition to the fact that it's not for lease yet. Um, but about the miles, the reason I would probably go over the miles is with us towing the truck, towing the trailer. Some weeks we might not go anywhere. Other weeks we might, say we do the four corners. We might hit each of those states and then do some stuff in them in a spiral, just going out. I don't know. Let's see, Mr. All Electric says FSD for the folks who funded it early, now and before, really need to be able to transfer it forever. Yeah, exactly. I bought that crap before Elon had said, "Oh, it's only going up. It's going up forever. It's only going up," and then it went down for over 3 months. And then Mark Benton got the community hating him because he convinced Elon that it wasn't fair, which was true. It wasn't fair. And then he started raising the price again. But the funny thing is, even though Mark was going for what was fair, he did not take advantage of the discounted FSD. So I respect that. It's still not unsupervised, still a test program. Folks that buy now should be able to transfer indefinitely. I agree. Now, if you're renting it or subscribing, or however you want to call it, the subscription, you know what you're getting into. But those of us who got in, I mean, I'm not even one of the earliest. I'm one of the last to get in. Like I said, right before he said the price was only going up, and then right before he tried to shut down all of the stores and galleries. Like, it was our first road trip after we got it. That he's like, everybody's fired. And then like I went into the store for something, and I asked them, "Oh, my alarm is ringing. Why?" Stand by. All right, sorry about that. So the room I normally broadcast from right now, they detected motion in it, and it's not me. so, so we will find out what happened there. Hopefully nothing fell in the office, but hopefully there's something simple like that. Hopefully if something fell, it wasn't anything expensive. So we can't deal with that right now. Um, yeah. So if you're still not unsupervised, still test program should be able to transfer indefinitely. Yeah, good point. 12,000 at 99 a month is 10 years. Would be super lucky if my car exists in 8 years. Exactly. Uh, how early could you buy this thing? Late 2016, right, for AP 2.0? And
Mama.
6 years would be normal for somebody who keeps their car for like a full term. 3 for lessee, 5 for people who do the the business deduction and turn them around and turn them around. For the amount of people we're dealing with here, it is a nice little olive branch to keep them buying cars because people who bought a car more expensive than this one, let's say 169, 175 for a loaded up Model X like this one. You could get one at some points for $88,000, less than half price for some folks. And I know that they don't really do the whole, like, they could show some of that loyalty back to customers. They do at points, but they could do it where it counts, and not just with the software updates, which are nice. They are free, I like that, but there are certain times where they just don't do the right thing. Elon says we need to always do the right thing, and at one point he's like, "Yeah, they don't get paid in commissions; they get paid in smiles," which one of my friends made a dirty joke about. But yeah, whenever it's able to actually be full self-driving, like by itself, unsupervised, that could be your cutoff for saying, "Hey, anybody who bought it outright, now you got to buy it outright again because we gave you what we promised." Mr. Electric Car Lunacy says, funding it when it's unproven should be the FSD equivalent of supercharging for life. If Tesla doesn't like the economics of that scenario, raise the price now. Yes, raise the price now and then keep letting whoever do it until the time is up. I think that makes sense. All right, so what happened with the HV Nomads project aside from these cargo runs? I think that we're going to be done with these cargo runs at this point. Probably, what do you think, another hour or two? How long till we're done? Probably another hour or two? Yeah, probably another hour, and then we'll start our 8-hour trek back to where we park these beasts. And then we've worked out somewhat of a plan on how I want the solar laid out so that it'll make sense. I've gone ahead and dropped the requirement for tilt on the panels. I haven't edited the site to show that yet, but with the panels I was looking at the last 2 candidates, they make enough power in the summertime to charge this car and still have a full day's consumption in the battery pack, and then 3 partial days should we have cloudy days. And you might think, why does that matter if you're going to RV parks? Because we're not really planning on doing RV parks. We might hit a couple of them, but don't plan to do them. It's called Unplugged for a reason, right? We used to call it the Unplugged Nomads before I forgot I still had the domain. It was on the wrong account when I was looking for it, so I ended up buying another one, which was the HV Nomads. It said, what did it say? If you make an offer for 60,000, then the person who owns this site might be interested. Yeah, he gave me 60 grand for that URL. I might be interested in it because I hadn't used it up until that point. But so we got the solar arranged. I've decided to switch back from the XPS foam panels to professional spray foaming, simply because when I wanted to do some of the just-in-case planning and prep, I said, well, what if we end up in like Arizona, Death Valley, somewhere in the summertime, Or worse, what if we end up Canada's not on the map? I mean, it's on the map. It's not on our itinerary before she goes to school. Say we end up in Canada in the middle of wintertime, or Minot, North Dakota, something where it's just like ridiculously cold. So that required more insulation, and the amount of insulation that would take would be about 8 inches of foam panels, and it's only got a 7 foot height. So at that point, once you add in the insulation in the floor and the walls, and finish the floor, because you don't be walking around on insulation. You want something you can step on. Once all that was said and done, we were looking at under my standing height in available heights. So that wasn't going to work for that extended period of time. And so we decided we're going to switch it to professional spray foaming. We're going to go ahead and put in probably still about like 6 inches of spray foam in the ceiling, and about 3 in the walls. And then on the floor, we're still going to use the XPS foam panels, but we'll only need like a 1/2 inch or 1 inch. Then we put the floor on top of that. And then underneath, I'll get them to just cake the whole bottom, the whole cavity underneath the surface floor in there. Get them to cake the whole thing with spray foam all the way up until the, I call it the skirt, but the trim that underhangs what's going on in the back of the trailer. And then that would mean that we'd be all set for... Oh, you gave me trash? Thank you. It would give us the ability to comfortably withstand Death Valley summers, and the heat pump would be able to handle a Canada winter, a Minot winter, but not necessarily very affordably as far as energy consumption. And at that point, maybe we'll look at figuring out a way to tilt some of the panels, or maybe just water, yes. Or maybe park the rig on more water. It's empty and somebody put trash in it. Yeah, what's this white stuff? Thank you, though. It's not water anymore. Okay, water. Maybe if we have to just level the rig out so it's not level, like unlevel it, so it's facing the sun. We probably still should be fine. I came up with the arrays that we were talking about. We came up with like 20 to 21 kilowatt hours in those hellaciously cold areas, and in the wintertime, and then in the summertime, pretty much anywhere in North America in the summertime, we would be looking at... Hi, baby. We'd be looking at like 41 to 60 kilowatt hours, which is plenty. I don't plan to have 70 kilowatt hours of batteries in the rig. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I mean, I might get a good deal on like a Rex Model S or something, but I think I'm just going to use server rack batteries or similar. I would use a Powerwall, but I'll have to find... Because I think a Powerwall 3 would be perfect for this application right there, because it's got a solar inverter, it puts out AC, and it can take up to 3 arrays. And it can put out a massive amount of power on steady state, actually, which is pretty cool. So you get one Powerwall 3 and probably 3 or 4 of the extra batteries. Call it a day. Just plug and play. But I don't even know how I got that first one. I think it's going to be harder to get a loose one and get it commissioned. I'll probably have to go through an installer on that. And they haven't lowered the price down to reflect that their costs have gone down just yet. They're not as quick to do that as they used to be. Like Elon would say about how we were only trying to make this much profit, and then like the prices would match like the exchange rate and those sorts of things. If an opportunity before we get there presents itself for Powerwall 3s in specific, I'll look at it, but not at $15,000 a piece. because for 15 grand I could get the whole inverter and probably 100 kilowatt hours of batteries from the turnkey off-grid solutions. Um, and then even more than that if I. What? Mommy's not asleep. She's not asleep. So anyway, more than 100 kilowatt hours if I were to like build my own batteries just from raw cells, but that does not interest me at all. Now, if somebody else wanted to do it and like help it out with the project, yes, I would accept it. But for me, I don't want to buy the cells, arrange the cells, take them up, put them between the wood for pressure or whatever, get all the individual wires and the bus bars. It's just, I'm gonna go a little more turnkey, just for that. We just when it comes to the arrangement, like the reason I haven't updated any of the renderings and stuff is because we still need to pick some more major components before we have an idea of what the weight balance is going to be, and I needed to finish these cargo trailer runs before we can even focus on that. And so we're almost there. 8 more hours to go, plus however long it is moving furniture and boxes. And this will be fun. Started to look at windows. I want a window that my tubby self can fit through in an emergency. For these two skinny minis, I can get pretty much any size window and they'll fit through it. But I think I want to get the window in before the window. It might only be one, but I think we're going to do 2 windows. Get the windows in before, after we have an idea of what's going in and a rough idea of the layout. Get them in and then get it over to spray foam. And then from spray foaming, we'll actually before the spray foam, I'll need to get the XPS flooring in because it's kind of square. And then we'll have to do wiring, plumbing, appliances, furniture, cabinets, and that sort of stuff. And then like the wall skins. I don't even know what we're going to make the wall skins out of. So that could make a difference right there, because if you use plywood, for instance, that's going to be heavier than if you use I don't know, like knockoff shiplap or something. But we'll see. And if anybody's done this or anybody has any ideas about either a ground up restoration on an RV or a from scratch RV for the house, or not for the house, but like home built, like a cargo trailer, or just like somebody selling a frame in our local area on Facebook. Just a frame. Here, buy the frame and decide what you want to do with it. So I can't have been the only one, even in this audience, who want to do something like this. I'm just taking it to an extreme. That's going to be fun. Looking at the Falcon Wing door mirrors here, or windows, and noticing again that they are much darker than they used to be when I bought it. Kind of orange now. They were about the same as the windows, the back windows there, and now they're not. It's interesting. All right, so with that, before it starts raining again, we're gonna go and do the moving, and then if I see any of you on the road, that's great. I found somebody who had no idea why the nose-in spots existed. I pulled up at one of the North Carolina superchargers that had a nose-in spot, so that narrows it down a lot for those of you who are familiar with them. And this guy showed up. He and his wife were eating lunch on the car. Hello, if you're out there. And it was actually breakfast. This was like 5, 6 in the morning. Anyway, they were eating breakfast on the car. And I said, doot, doot. And I didn't even think I did 2 doots. I just said, doot. And I was like, hey, you mind if I get there? And they looked at the trailer, they looked at me, and they said, oh, 1 second. And he puts his food down. They ran around and then moved the car. And I was like, yeah, thanks. He said, I didn't know this existed. I said, oh, there's only a few crazies out there towing with Model X, but there's going to be a lot of people towing with Cybertruck. So Tesla really needs to get on it with the towing friendly spots for the superchargers. And for normal trailers like this, it doesn't matter that much. You can unhook it. It doesn't take that long. It's not that hard. But like U-Hauls, it's impossible to take a U-Haul van trailer off once it's loaded. And depending on the site, if the site is not level, baby. Yeah, I don't know what you said. Yeah. If the site is not level, it can make it hard to remove your trailer. If it's not like a super fancy coupler. Pizza? Pizza. Okay. We had pizza yesterday though. I'm hoping, like I said, there was just something that ran through the, not ran through, but like maybe something fell out of the closet or off the couch or something. I don't know. They don't seem to be in any rush, so the ring alarm is still alarming and is ringing. I don't know what to do with that. Baby. Pizza still? But we had pizza yesterday. No seatbelt? If you're moving, you gotta have a seatbelt on. That's how it works. Yes. So, the guy hadn't seen anybody towing, and with the U-Hauls, you can't remove them if they're loaded and they are the covered cargo trailer type, because they don't have a way to take them off. Like, they don't have a way to put them down, and then once they're down, you can't pick them up because they don't have a jack of any sort. And I guess they did that on purpose, not just being cheap, but I guess they did that like to limit their liability of somebody putting the trailer back on and doing. Yes, in case somebody. I'm almost done, baby. In case somebody tried to put the trailer back on and then it fell off and somebody got hurt. So that might be why they do that. And it probably saves them $50 to retail a trailer. Actually, it might actually be be real $50 because they have to make sure it's like rental grade. But I'd say $50 retail a trailer if they just use like a cheap jack. But if they wanted to actually be robust, and some of their stuff is pretty robust, some of it is, we'll just replace it when it comes up. That might be part of their logic for why they do that. But even with this one, it was out into the aisle. It's just like it was like a tier 3 shopping mall. Not mall even, like a tier 3 strip mall. It had like a Bells and a Roses and a Belk and a Little Caesars and a Planet Fitness. So those of you familiar with the North Carolina Superchargers, you know where we were. It's so there was not the whole point of all of that was to say that there wasn't a lot of traffic anytime that we were towing anything through there and taking up the aisle, because that middle island almost never had cars in it, and then it had its own aisle around there, and it was easy enough to get around the vehicle that had a trailer, unless we get to a Cybertruck or something that's towing like a 3-car trailer. You want to come up here? No, you don't? Okay. Unless somebody was towing like a 3-car trailer with a Cybertruck or something, then you would not you wouldn't have an encroachment on the flow of traffic. But I want to thank all of you for taking your time out today to come see me talk at you from in a car. Definitely want to thank everybody who chatted today, and definitely want to thank all of our channel members for your monetary contribution. It is nice, and we need to get some more stuff out there for you guys. Some members only stuff. I don't know what you guys want to do with it. We've done members only live streams. We've done members only posts. Some. This looks like some kind of a sandwich. Is that yours or mine?
Mine.
Okay. We've done some members only stuff so far, but I don't know what do you guys feel? And then the same goes for whenever I do get memberships on X. What do you guys want to do for that?
Sure.
And with that, I want to thank you again for spending your time here with us this Father's Day, and catch you on the flip side.